Hi everybody, this is Valentina from the Real Italian Kitchen, and after years and years of experimenting with pizza dough recipes, I think I've finally come to my last recipe. And today I'm gonna make two batches for you, one by hand and one with the bread machine. The ingredients we're going to use today are 350 grams of flour, 200 milliliters of lukewarm water, 1 teaspoon of salt, 1 teaspoon of sugar, and this is 21 grams of active dry yeast. If you're using beer yeast, you know, the little cubes, 1 cube is enough. I think it's 7 or 8 grams. To find the conversions in cups, please click the link below. It will take you to my blog and it's all written down. So let's do the one in the bread machine first. The first thing I did was warm up the container over here so that the lukewarm water doesn't risk getting cold. I mixed 3 spoons of oil with the lukewarm water, and I'm gonna throw that in first. The next thing I'm gonna put in is the yeast, then the flour, and then on the bread machine instruction book they advise putting salt on one corner and the sugar in the other corner so that they don't get mixed right away. We need the sugar to activate the yeast properties and the salt to salt the dough, but we don't want the salt touching the yeast first. I lock it in place, I close it up, I set the bread machine on just dough and it's gonna knead it and rise it for me, and I set it up for the small load. Now I'm gonna go ahead and show you how to make it by hand. So the first thing we're gonna do is put our yeast in a bowl. While I'm turning it, I'm gonna slowly add the water and sort of let the yeast melt. I'm also gonna add the sugar. In substitution of sugar, you can also use a little bit of beer. Here we go, completely melted and equally dissolved in the water. Now I'm gonna slowly start adding the flour, not too slow. Always make sure when you're knitting to knit away from your body and then turning the bowl around. Okay, so my ball of dough is starting to look pretty good. I've worked it for about 5 minutes, I would say. At this point, I'm gonna add the salt. After working the dough for a while, it gets easier and softer to work on. All right, that was a workout. Okay, so after I was done kneading the dough, I split it in two little balls, and with this amount you should be able to get 2 thin crusted pizzas. If you like your pizza a little thick, you might be able to get a large one and a small one with this dose. To make more, just keep increasing the amount of water and the amount of flour. I wouldn't change the sugar. The salt is pretty good. I'm gonna put the dough into separate containers and I'm gonna cover it with saran wrap and leave it in a warm place that doesn't have any sudden temperature changes. And I'm gonna leave it there until it has double its size, which would be about 1.5 hours or 2 hours at the very least. Here we go. Our pizza dough has finally risen 2 hours later. This is Obviously the one I did by hand, I should have sprinkled some flour underneath it because it sticked to the pot a little, but it's fine, whatever, it doesn't matter. The way to store it now is to put it in some saran wrap and put it in the fridge and pull it out an hour before you use it so it has a chance to rise again before you actually bake it. And in this way you can also store it in the freezer and it keeps for, I would say, a month or so. Thank you for following The Real Italian Kitchen. Please subscribe to my channel or visit my blog realitaliankitchen.blogspot.com for daily updates and more amazing recipes. Ciao ciao!